Aloha mai kako. I'm Nick Minnick, crew lead for Kure Atoll Conservancy. Today our field team is super excited to share all about the seabirds that live on Kure, as well as the important conservation work that we do in order to fulfill our responsibility and privilege to care for the land, or Kuleana to the Aina, in restoring and preserving this critical seabird breeding habitat. So we hope you enjoy what we put together today, and thank you for your support. Mahalo.
At the northwestern edge of the Hawaiian archipelago, more than 1,300 miles from Honolulu lies Kure Atoll. Kure Atoll, or Hōlanikū, is the northernmost coral atoll in the world and is a part of Papahānaumokuākea National Marine Sanctuary. Hōlanikū consists of two islands, Sand Island, a small unvegetated strip of sand, and Green Island, approximately 200 acres of high-quality habitat that supports large nesting populations of seabirds. Hōlanikū, meaning bringing forth heaven, was first claimed in 1886 by King Kalakaua and remained under the ownership of the territory of Hawaii until 1936, when it was set aside for use by the U.S. Navy. The U.S. Coast Guard maintained a Loran station on the island for 30 years before it was returned to the state of Hawaii in 1992. Much of the island's infrastructure originates from its Navy and Coast Guard history, including the now removed 625-foot Loran Tower and the decommissioned nearly mile-long runway. Today, access to Hōlanikū is only by boat. The atoll faces challenges from several invasive species, though significant progress has been made. Rats were successfully eradicated in 1993, and big-headed ants were brought under significant control in 2014. Beginning in 2010, year-round field camps enabled continuous monitoring and eradication efforts for Verbesina Encelioides, allowing staff to track new seedlings and prevent this invasive plant from reestablishing. Our program incorporates Mai Kapo Mai, a guiding document developed by Hawaiian practitioners. This document lays the foundation for Papahānaumokuākea managers to appropriately acknowledge and incorporate various aspects of Native Hawaiian culture into management plans in ways that are more collaborative, meaningful, and holistic. Our key objectives include ecosystem monitoring, education and outreach, invasive species management, marine pollution removal, native plant propagation and establishment, strict biosecurity, and cultural resource protection.
Today, many of Hawaii's seabirds are confined to the northwestern Hawaiian Islands. These islands make up one of the largest and most significant seabird assemblages in the world. Hōlanikū itself is home to 18 different breeding species of seabirds, as well as wintering shorebird species, the critically endangered Laysan Duck, and more than 100 Hawaiian Monk Seals. Protecting this undisturbed habitat and restoring habitat previously impacted by humans is essential to protecting these vulnerable species.
On Hōlanikū, there are several habitats that are keystones in seabird breeding. The dunes that rim the island help protect the interior from heavy winds, high surf, and other extreme weather events. Plants such as naupaka, with their deep, dense root mats, help to strengthen the dunes, allowing Hōlanikū to have some of the highest dunes in the northwestern Hawaiian Islands. 3 distinct nesting strategies can be observed among seabirds on Hōlanikū. Ground nesting birds, like masked brown and Coco's boobies, seek open plains to build their nest alongside nearly 75,000 Laysan and black-footed albatross. Colonies of sooty terns and grayback terns also seek to establish ground-dwelling territories, with nearby pairs of brown noddy tending to their young in and around low-growth naupaka and other native plants. Several species nest above the ground, with great frigatebirds and red-footed boobies making platform-esque nests, and black noddies making cup nests in heliotrope trees. White terns are famous for simply laying their eggs in the crook of a branch and vigilantly incubating. Tristram storm petrels, bone-in petrels, and wedge-tailed shearwaters dig underground and create burrows for nesting, while Christmas shearwaters and red-tailed tropic birds find thick naupaka to nest under. Bulwer's petrels nest on Hōlanikū in dark, sheltered locations. Short-tailed albatross have also historically nested on the island.
The main threats to adult survivorship and reproductive success of the seabird population of the island are contaminants, disease, invasive species, habitat degradation, tsunamis, sea level rise, and climate change. Today, we'll be focusing on our habitat restoration strategies here on Hōlanikū, as well as our monitoring efforts to study the population of seabirds of the island. Of the dozens of plant species on Hōlanikū, 10 are currently targeted for control or eradication. Among these, Verbesina Encelioides stands apart as having a well-documented historically severe impacts on the seabirds of Hōlanikū.
For decades, this tall, fast-growing plant in the sunflower family dominated Hōlanikū and Midway Atoll, commonly reaching heights of over 1 to 1.5 meters and forming dense monocultures that cause extensive habitat degradation. These towering stands obstructed wind flow across nesting areas, preventing albatross chicks from thermoregulating during the hot summer months and contributing to a sharp decline in reproductive success. In addition, dense Verbesina growth reduced available nesting habitat and physically impeded access for all ground nesting and burrowing seabirds. Since year-round removal of Verbesina began, Hōlanikū has been released from its negative ecological effects, and the number of nesting Laysan albatross has increased dramatically, from approximately 20,000 nests in 2011 to more than 38,000 breeding pairs today. Our large-scale habitat restoration efforts have proven highly successful, as the Verbesina monoculture has been destroyed. However, remaining seed banks are still viable. We're in the last 1% of the Verbesina eradication program, which is proving to be one of the most challenging stages. We vigilantly track historic drop seed locations and hunt for new sprouts, as Verbesina seeds can remain viable in the soil for several years. More than half of our field duties are dedicated to the Verbesina eradication program. The island is divided into restoration areas based on our habitat type and size, with each area systematically surveyed using line transects at 4 to 6 week intervals.
Known seed banks are marked with physical demarcators and are carefully monitored year-round.
Most days begin and end with transecting for Verbesina and other incipient weeds. The team suits up with the essentials: a GPS unit with spare batteries, a radio, seed collection bag, hand clickers, plenty of water, data notebooks, loppers for trail maintenance, color-coded flagging for multiple objectives, and, when weather permits, a spray pack with herbicide. Our program utilizes both mechanical and chemical forms of invasive vegetation control. Chemical treatments are surgically applied, using the lowest effective concentration of active ingredients for our target species, which include grasses and broadleaf plants. At these low concentrations, herbicide applications will not reliably kill mature plants, and treating larger individuals would require substantially more herbicide to achieve control. For this reason, chemical treatment is primarily used on small or early stage plants. A pre-emergent component is also incorporated where possible to suppress the seed bank. When feasible, mechanical removal is the preferred treatment. This approach involves physically removing plants from the soil and bagging buds, flowers, and seeds to be incinerated. It is also believed that mature plants pulled while still bearing flowers may continue to mature and produce viable seed if reproductive material is not properly contained. By removing and bagging the inflorescence of flowering plants and utilizing manual techniques, we eliminate the chance of spraying reproductive material and reduce the risk of pollinators ingesting herbicides, which could bioaccumulate in the food web. If seeds have already dispersed, a careful estimate of the total number is made to better monitor the site. Verbesina is an annual species with long-lived seed banks, and even a single missed plant can reseed an area, undoing years of restoration progress. Regular, meticulous transect surveys ensure seedlings are detected and removed before they reach maturity, supporting complete eradication rather than perpetual control. Ensuring data integrity, practicing careful and consistent survey protocols, and establishing open communication amongst our crew all contribute to the success of the program and ultimately the well-being of the wildlife.
Our habitat restoration goals extend beyond invasive species removal to include bolstering a healthy diversity of native plants. We briefly mentioned the importance of naupaka for dune stabilization, but it also provides valuable shade and nesting space for a variety of seabirds. Interior stands of Naupaka shield both adults and chicks from strong winter winds and harsh summer sun. Kavelu, a native bunchgrass, offers excellent nesting habitat for burrow nesting species, as well as smaller seabirds like terns and noddies. Tristram storm petrels and bonin petrels often begin digging their burrows at the base of Kavelu, taking advantage of its protective cover.
One project that is currently underway is the reclamation of habitat where the now decommissioned runway stands. The area takes up about 10% of Green Island, so breaking up the hardpack and outplanting naupaka and other native plants is a great way to improve the habitat and increase nesting availability on the island.
Alongside invasive species, marine debris poses a direct threat to the survivorship and reproductive success of seabirds. Analysis of stomach contents in albatross boluses often reveal a grim reality. High concentrations of plastics are being ingested and fed to young. Despite the remote location of Hōlanikū at the geographic edge of atoll formation and in protected waters, its beaches are littered with foreign material, with albatross documented as having the highest plastic loads in the Hawaiian archipelago. In addition to plastic pollution, fishing nets and lines often wash ashore, creating entanglement hazards for seabirds, sea turtles, monk seals, and other wildlife. Fortunately, our team remains alert and acts quickly when lines and other nets wash ashore. Using hand tools and a little elbow grease, we cut, haul, and pack marine debris for eventual removal from the atoll, often in coordination with the Papahānaumokuākea Marine Debris Project. On average, our crew collects around 10,000 pounds of marine debris from beaches and nearshore reefs each year.
Though habitat restoration is how we spend the majority of our time, we also conduct several survey protocols that allows us to quantify the effects of our efforts. Our longest running data set is the annual albatross nest and fledgling count in order to gain reproductive success and breeding population metrics.
Each winter, the team counts each Laysan and black-footed albatross nest on the island. We walk line transects through unique habitats using marking paint and clickers to ensure accurate recording. This past December, we counted over 41,000 Laysan and black-footed albatross nests, and in June, we'll count chicks to determine what percentage of nests survive to fledging age. Over time, this dataset has revealed the positive impacts of our habitat restoration efforts and has informed adaptive management, allowing us to adjust objectives as needed.
Black-footed albatross prefer to nest in open, sandy expanses such as dunes or beaches in the northwestern Hawaiian Islands. Many years of banding black-footed albatross chicks have led to known age birds that have participated in GLS and satellite tagging projects. These projects have revealed key information about foraging ranges, overlap with fisheries in the Pacific, and that some Hōlanikū-born birds migrated to Midway. Observations from long-line fishing vessels documenting band recoveries also indicate bycatch events that negatively affect recruitment and reproductive success. Together, these findings help explain some of the factors limiting the growth of the black-footed albatross population on Hōlanikū.
There have been historic monitoring in place for various species alongside the albatross. Currently, we have monitoring efforts in place for Christmas shearwaters, grayback terns, brown boobies, and masked boobies. A 1995 to 2014 mark recapture study on Christmas shearwaters revealed Hōlanikū has one of the largest populations of Christmas shearwaters in the Hawaiian archipelago. Our hatch year 2026 monitoring of ground nesting boobies is ongoing, with nests tracked across several distinct habitat types. Nests are marked and numbered with nearby stakes, and we periodically revisit them to assess nest status and identify adults that have been previously banded. We will continue following these nests through 2026, gathering valuable data on nesting success and population size. This observation-style monitoring provides accurate, real-time data while minimizing disturbance to the birds. As previously mentioned, Hōlanikū is an important wintering site for several species of shorebird, as well as a stopover in the path for several trans-Pacific migrants.
Shorebird surveys during the height of migration are a great opportunity to monitor the movement of regular visitors like ruddy turnstones, sanderling, Pacific golden plovers, bristle-thighed curlew, and wandering tattlers. They're also a great time to observe unusual vagrant shorebirds, ducks, raptors, such as the Hawaiian short-eared owl or pueo, and even passerines. Some of our favorite vagrants of 2025 included a redneck stint, tufted duck, and western sandpiper. Getting out to the beaches during the winter months to look for shorebirds is also a great chance to monitor our resident Hawaiian monk seals and identify marine debris, which we can remove to reduce hazards for wildlife.
Though not a seabird, another species to highlight on Hōlanikū is the Laysan duck. This critically endangered species of duck was once limited to a global population of less than 10 individuals due to introduced species.
Fortunately, translocations to Hōlanikū and Midway Atoll have been successful, and with careful management, the population has rebounded. On Hōlanikū, we carefully track new broods of ducklings during the breeding season and conduct point counts to obtain more accurate population data. We're really grateful to PSG for allowing us to share a little bit about some of the projects that are going on way out here in Papahānaumokuākea. For more than 32 years, the State of Hawaii Department of Land and Natural Resources Division of Forestry and Wildlife, in partnership with the nonprofit Kure Atoll Conservancy, has led successful conservation efforts on Hōlanikū. Partner agencies including U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, NOAA, OHA, Oikonos, Pacific Rim Conservation, Hawaii Wildlife Center, and many others have all contributed to the protection and well-being of Papahānaumokuākea National Marine Sanctuary. Our program relies on highly motivated volunteers who spend 6 to 12 months in the field serving wildlife and practicing aloha aina, or love of the land, as well as on funding support from the state of Hawaii, grants, and private donors. If you're interested in volunteering or learning more about our work, visit us on Facebook or at kureatollconservancy.org.
One final mahalo from us here on Hōlanikū. We hope that everyone continues to be passionate about seabird work and helps contribute to the ongoing conservation work of protecting this habitat and in turn protecting the wildlife species that call it home. Mahalo.